Dragon Ball Super Episode 54 draws near as we come ever so closer to finding out Black's true identity, and today we're going to be looking at a few images shown within the Dragon Ball Super Episode 54 preview and better understand what's coming in the next episode. Now, of course, the first image I want to start off with is, of course, with the following image depicting future Trunks and what seems to be a huge, massive power-up. We see Trunks' legs, his arms, including his chest, beginning to swell, beginning to accumulate mass, as we saw back in Dragon Ball Z when future Trunks first powered up against Perfect Cell and became Ultra Trunks. So perhaps here, Trunks is actually going to unleash all of his power against his father, because given the circumstance, Vegeta is beginning to show his Super Saiyan God abilities against his son. Maybe perhaps Trunks is getting somewhat of a boost in releasing his full power to demonstrate to his father how strong he's become ever since he left the past way back when. So I do think that, you know, having a look at this particular image, we see him bulking up, and if you go back and watch Dragon Ball Z, very similar to when Trunks saw Vegeta get knocked out, he began to power up against Cell. So this could be the return of a beefed up Trunks as we saw back in Dragon Ball Z. Now, some people are speculating that this might be Ultra Trunks coming back. Now, I really doubt that the actual form, that being the Ultra Super Saiyan form, will make a return, but I do think that Trunks is definitely going to go all out against his dad. Perhaps Vegeta is going to be asking him to go all out to demonstrate his power, so maybe here Trunks will be demonstrating and going all out as opposed to when he fought Goku, in which case ended very abruptly. So I do think that Trunks will be going all out in this particular image, because if you put two and two together, you have to ask yourself, why else would Trunks be increasing in mass if he's not planning on unleashing his full power against his father? So very interesting developments. I do think a lot of people actually missed this, but in fact, if you go back and you watch the preview, Trunks is bulking up. So we pan on over to the next image right here, and we see the yellow Kaiōshin open up the box of rings. Yet again, we see all 5 rings in the box, but you have to ask yourself, why would the yellow Kaiōshin proceed to open up the box yet again after Beerus, Whis, and Goku had already left? Now, if you pan on over down and you look down below, we see that Black bears the silver ring on his finger, but if you look at the image, the silver ring is actually inside of the box. So are there actually more than just, 5 rings within one box in one particular universe? Because as of right now, Universe 10 is said to be the only known universe that carries these rings, but nevertheless, the yellow Kaiōshin proceeds to bring the box right back out and opens it for presumably Zamasu. So we don't really know what their intentions actually are. Perhaps maybe those rings are actually fake. We're not entirely too sure. What do you guys think? Do you guys think these are actually decoy rings? Comment down below and simply let me know. But again, if you look at Black's ring and you look at the ring that's in the box, they look to be very, very eerily similar, but of course, we're not entirely too sure if there are more rings out there that are scattered throughout the multiverse. But as of right now, Beerus, Whis, and Goku specifically traveled to Universe 10, so one can only assume that these rings are only kept away within Universe 10. But as you can see, we have 4 green rings and 1 silver ring. What the green rings do, we're not entirely too sure, but of course, we see the silver ring is still in the box. But just as the yellow Kaiōshin begins to open the box, we also see the yellow Kaiōshin and Zamasu both looking inside the box for some odd reason. Now, one of 2 scenarios might happen. Either A, they might actually use the rings themselves to figure out what's going on, or B, there is a hidden agenda that we're not picking up on screen yet. So we pan on over to the next image, and of course we see Vegeta and Trunks and what seems to be a tired and worn out Trunks. Now, people might be wondering, well, why is that? Well, actually, if you look closely, we see Vegeta's arm wrapped around his shirt, and of course we see scratch marks on his face. So this might be post-training, and I do believe that Vegeta is very aggravated that his son isn't as strong as Vegeta is, because Vegeta obviously has massive amounts of gains. He's gained tremendous amount of power, and of course right now I do believe this is a moment of clarity to where Trunks believes that he will never reach his father, and now his father is the one telling him that in fact Trunks needs to be the one that inherits his power because he is the son of the prince. And so figuratively, that's why the episode is called Inheritors of Saiyan Blood, and it focuses more on Trunks. So I do believe this is post-training, and I do believe that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta has managed to beat down Trunks, even if, hypothetically speaking, if Trunks managed to reach somewhat of an ultra form, whatever the case may be, whatever transformation, Trunks actually has, I think that Vegeta was able to knock him down, which pretty much demotivates Trunks, and I think this is a moment where Vegeta grabs him and he tries to remind him who he is, where he comes from, and what he's fighting for. So a very interesting shot right here nevertheless. And of course, lastly, I want to go ahead and pan on over to an image where future Trunks was seen putting his sword into the ground, and we see a reflection of Black. Now, the reason why this is so important is because, do you guys remember back in Dragon Ball Z when Goku was in the time chamber with Gohan? He made Gohan think about, death. He made Gohan believe, and he made Gohan envision people like Frieza destroying his friends and his family, and that pretty much pushed Gohan. If you guys go back and you rewatch the episodes, Goku kept telling Gohan to use the pain of loss, to remember what it means to have a meaningful life and a happy life, and to protect your family and friends. Now, if you pay attention to the foreshadowing of Dragon Ball Super thus far, we see Trunks meets Gohan and he meets Gohan Gohan's family. We see Future Trunks meets Krillin, and he meets Krillin's family. So he's starting to recognize, he's starting to see what it's like to actually have, you know, family, friends, what it's like to have a peaceful life. And every single time he goes to sleep, every single time he looks at his sword, every single time he just even thinks for a single solitary moment, he sees black everywhere he goes. He sees black in his nightmares. He sees black in the reflection of his sword. He sees black everywhere. So for the case of Future Trunks, this gives him all of the reasons in the world to go on ahead and stop someone like Black, in which case that's why he's receiving training from Vegeta. I don't think that someone like Future Trunks is going to be killed off, because Future Trunks does play a very vital role. This is actually his fight. He's the one that brought Black into the past, therefore creating a time disruption, sending him back into the future. But nevertheless, Black was on the hunt for Trunks. He was looking for Trunks. All he ever wanted was Trunks, and then he even followed him back in the past. So if you look at the entire spectrum of the story, this is Future Trunks' fight, with everyone else getting involved with the exception of the gods. This is not the gods' fight, because they have no importance nor say as to what's going on until they are provoked. And of course, if you think about it, the only people that were ever provoked was Trunks and Goku. So this gives them all the reasons in the world to train alongside Vegeta, who lost his wife, who lost his home. So the only three people that ever have a shot at fighting Black is Goku, Vegeta, and possibly Future Trunks, which is why Vegeta is encouraging him to train even harder than before, because he wants to see his son grow. And with that, of course, if you look at the preview, that's why he's so hard on his son, because he knows that his son has become gradually weak. Not as weak as Gohan, however, but still not strong enough to hold his own against someone like Black. So leave your thoughts down below. Do you guys believe that Trunks is being trained to be the hero of the story here, having to defeat Black? And what are your overall thoughts on the yellow Kaiōshin opening up the box that bears the time rings? And what are your overall thoughts on Zamasu's energy? Obviously enough, when Goku unleashed his ki blast, that forced Zamasu to pretty much unleash a little bit of his ki, and everyone around him already knew that both Black and Zamasu had relation in terms of ki. So what are your overall thoughts on that? And what are your overall thoughts on the episode preview? Drop your thoughts down below. And how strong do you guys believe Future Trunks will become as we progress on forward? Leave your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, if you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to subscribe for more daily content. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys cannot wait for Dragon Ball Super episode 54, punch that like button square in the face, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be seeing you all in the next update. Take it easy, guys. Peace.